The United Nations World Food Programme has warned that more than 17 million people across 9 conflict-affected states in northern Nigeria are facing crisis, emergency, and catastrophic levels of hunger, describing the situation as the worst food crisis in the region in nearly a decade. The warning follows the latest Cadre Harmonised Food Security Assessment, which indicate that the number of people affected has increased by almost 2 million people since previous projections. Akahi News gathered that Borno State remains the hardest hit, with over 3 million people experiencing acute food insecurity, including more than 750,000 facing severe hunger and over 10,000 in catastrophic conditions. The World Food Programme attributed the worsening crisis to expanding insecurity, displacement, restricted humanitarian access, and severe funding shortages, noting that it urgently required $89 million over the next 6 months to sustain life-saving operations across northern Nigeria. What exactly has changed following this report? The latest UN warning signals that Nigeria's food insecurity has evolved beyond a seasonal challenge into a complex humanitarian emergency driven by conflict, economic hardship, and declining international assistance. For years, insurgency in the northeast and armed violence in parts of northwest have forced thousands of farming families from their land. When farmers cannot cultivate their fields, food production falls, market supplies shrink, and prices rise. The consequences extend far beyond the conflict zones, affecting households across the country through higher food inflation and reduced agricultural output. Equally worrying is the sharp reduction in humanitarian funding. The World Food Programme disclosed that although 6.2 million people in the 3 northeast states require assistance, available resources can support only about 740,000 people, compared with 1.3 million during the 2025 lean season. This funding gap means millions of vulnerable Nigerians may go without essential food and nutritional support. The security implications are equally significant. Hunger does not exist in isolation. According to the World Food Programme, worsening food shortages are increasing the risk of displacement, exploitation, gender-based violence, and even recruitment into armed groups as desperate individuals search for food or income. This illustrates that food security is not merely an agricultural issue, but also a matter of national security. The crisis also exposes structural weaknesses in Nigeria's food system. While insecurity remains a major driver, climate variability, inflation, poor rural infrastructure, post-harvest losses, and limited investment in irrigation continue to undermine agricultural resilience. Unless these underlying problems are addressed, humanitarian aid alone cannot provide a lasting solution. Another important consideration is shared responsibility. Governments at federal and state levels must strengthen security, expand agricultural support, and improve rural infrastructure. Development partners can provide emergency assistance, but long-term food security ultimately depends on effective domestic policies that enable farmers to return safely to their communities and produce sufficient food. Ultimately, this warning should not be viewed merely as another humanitarian statistics. Behind every number is a family struggling to survive, a child at risk of malnutrition, and a community facing uncertain prospect. Nigerians' response will shape not only its humanitarian record but also its future economic and social stability. 5 things every Nigerian should know concerning this report. Number 1, the crisis is worsening. Nearly 17 million people are now experiencing severe food insecurity across 9 northern states. Number 2, conflict is a major driver. Take note of that and please pay attention. Violence continues to displace farming communities and restrict humanitarian access. Number 3, funding is insufficient. The World Food Program urgently needs $89 million to sustain food assistance over the next 6 months. Number 4, children are among the most vulnerable. Malnutrition and disrupted access to food place many children at heightened health risk. Number 5, food security affects everyone. Rising hunger in major agricultural regions can contribute to higher food prices nationwide. Now, please pay attention to this carefully set reflective question for your deeper reflection. Number 1, why does severe hunger continue despite Nigeria's vast agricultural potential? Number 2, how can security be restored so displaced farmers can safely return to their land? Number 3, should Nigeria rely less on emergency humanitarian assistance and invest more in long-term food resilience? Number 4, what additional measure can governments take to reduce food inflation and improve agricultural productivity? Number 5, how can humanitarian agencies safely reach communities cut off by insecurity? Number 6, what role should citizens, businesses, and civil society play in strengthening national food security? Based on this report, Akahi News recommends the following. Number 1, government should intensify efforts to restore security in farming communities across northern Nigeria. Number 2, greater investment should be made in irrigation, storage facility, and climate resilient agriculture. Number 3, humanitarian agency should receive adequate logistical and security support to reach vulnerable population. Number 4, federal and state government should strengthen nutrition programs for children and pregnant women in high-risk communities. Number 5, transparent coordination between government and development partners should guide emergency food intervention. And lastly, long-term agricultural reform should focus on improving productivity, supporting farmers, and reducing dependence on emergency aid. Before I conclude this my news analysis, I want to quickly intimate you that intensive tutorial for 2026 OAU Post-Utemi, OAU Pre-Degree, OAU JUPEP, and OAU School of Nursing is currently in progress at Akahi Tutors Ile-Ife. Should you are interested, you can contact the management of Akahi Tutors at number 67 Oduduwa College Road, Sabo Junction, Ile-Ife. Call the management on 08038 644 328. Thank you.